Venerable Sirs, ladies and gentlemen. Today, your theme is the power of attitude. Before I speak a little bit about it within the short time I have, I would like to take my own quick snap poll and ask you 3 questions. And for each question, if you don't mind putting your hand up if you agree with it, and not put your hand up if you don't, that will give me the opportunity to set the theme. First question is, how many of you believe in democracy? Sincerely believe that democracy is the correct way that we should be governed? Please, if you don't mind putting your hand up. Okay. Second question, how many of you are suspicious of politicians and dislike politicians? Please, be honest, because I'm not going to take offense. All of you are very honest. Thank you. And the last question, how many of you voted at the last 2 elections, the presidential and the general election? Okay, roughly, this is the story. We have a lot of confidence in democracy. We all dislike politicians. In fact, we hate them. But we all voted in the last 2 elections. Interestingly enough, I think if I go to Washington and ask this question, the response would be more or less the same. It's nothing new. It is a universal phenomenon. But then, of course, we in Sri Lanka, I think we always felt, and we still feel, that we deserve better. Why do we deserve better? We have practiced and exercised universal franchise since 1931. As you know, we are one of the oldest democracies in Asia. We have high literacy rates. We are a very energetic, productive people. Whenever a Sri Lankan goes to Dubai, they do very well. When they go to the United States, they do very well. As we know from the cricket, we also do very well in cricket. But for some reason, we cannot get our act together. If you look at it since 1931, what have we achieved? What we have achieved is, in fact, what your chairman's review ended with. We have achieved a society that is divided in every way. We hate each other, one way or the other. We don't like people's races. We don't like each other's religions. We don't like each other's political affiliations. We don't like each other's party affiliations. Everything is based on resentment, hatred, and envy. That is the society we have created through this democratic process, which we really cherish and want to make work. So we have gone wrong. There is no doubt about it. We are divided. We have not divided. It was not yesterday or today. I think we have divided from the beginning. Some look back at history and they say, look here, we have been for 500 years under various colonial rulers. So we must blame them because they are the ones who set these foundations. The Portuguese came here, they destroyed our identity. The Dutch came here, they did something else. And the British, in addition to giving us cricket, may have maybe made some other mistakes, we don't know. So some of us blame the past. But it is all focused on blame, hatred, resentment, envy, which has translated itself into violence and destruction. So what do we do about this now? Some years ago, a friend of mine, when I was trying to analyze myself as to why do some countries do well and others don't, because when you go to the Middle East, you see some countries doing very well in the Middle East. You see others full of violence and disaster. It is the same in Asia. It is the same when you go to Africa. Certain countries do well, others don't. I asked this gentleman, whom I respect a lot, an American, why is it that this happens? And he's an expert on the Middle East. He told me in China, the emperor governed by what was called a mandate from heaven. The ancient Chinese maintained the power because the mandate came from heaven. He said in today's world, the heavenly mandate comes in a different form. It falls onto different functions, not necessarily to individuals. He says the day the mandate of heaven is lost from the gunmen, the haters, the demagogues, then he said, you can develop a society. And he said the day the gunmen lose their mandate from heaven, which regardless of what end of the spectrum you are, that is the day a society will develop. So I have been thinking about this. This mandate from heaven, it sounds, very philosophical. It sounds, maybe a little too woolly to talk about. But I believe there is truth to that. Any society, there is a moment where this mandate has to shift. In my view today, the mandate is on hatred, is on jealousy, is on resentment, is on violence. Sometime, at some point, this mandate has to shift. And in my view, shifting the mandate can only be done through the power of attitude, which you have been talking about. To conclude, I will give you my idea of what the power of attitude is in a very homely story, which I've told very often. And in my view, that is what the power of attitude is about. Imagine a construction site. You walk in there. You go and visit one person. That individual is chipping away at rocks. You ask that person, what are you doing? Well, I'm just chipping these rocks. My supervisor is not paying me enough. I need to get out. I need to go home soon. If I can find another job, go to the Middle East, I'm going to do that. I'm just chipping at these rocks temporarily. Then you walk across to another individual. You ask that person, what are you doing? Well, we are building this building, and my job is to, chip at these rocks, and I think we can get this building done in a couple of months. But at the moment, I'm not very happy with what is going on, but I think if I can finish this building and the money I make on it, maybe I can get my kid through school, and maybe I can then go and look for another job after that. Then you go to a third individual, and very often it could be a woman. And she would be more, look, as she's enjoying what she's doing, breaking the rocks and doing it nicely, measuring everything. And you ask her, what are you doing? And she says, well, we are building this school for the children of this area. There is no education. There is no chance for our kids to be educated. We are building this school. And I hope we can get it done very quickly so that work can start next term. Now, in my view, that is attitude. 3 different types of attitude. And I frankly believe that most of us in this country are in attitude categories 1 and 2. But I firmly believe that all of you in this room fall into the 3rd category. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, the day the attitude changes, the mandate from heaven will shift. I thank you.